Hey everyone, and welcome back to my fragrance review channel. Thank you for watching. So I finally got my new fragrance room set up, so I'm happy to be doing my video in here today. And I'm actually going to be talking about two fragrances. Both of them are from the Jessica Simpson collection. Now I know what you're thinking, why is he talking about Jessica Simpson? She's so 2005, and you're kind of right, but remember, I have smelled pretty much every celebrity fragrance on the planet, and I own most of them. And I can honestly say that some of my favorite celebrity fragrances come from the Jessica Simpson collection. Now having said that, the two that I'm going to talk about today are not her best ones. They're not in that favorite group, but I haven't reviewed them before, and they are quite nice, and I finally wanted to talk about them today. So we're going to be talking about Jessica Simpson's Signature and a fragrance called 10. Alright, so we're going to start with Signature. Now this fragrance came out in 2014, and it started a new family of fragrances for the Jessica Simpson line. We said goodbye to the Fancy line with Fancy Girl. That was the fifth and final fragrance from that line. And then the Jessica Simpson Signature was sort of like the new interpretation of the Fancy line, beginning a whole new fragrance adventure. So I'm going to start with the box for Jessica Simpson's Signature. So it's a simple sort of box with light rose-colored feathers sort of going all around the box, giving it a very soft, delicate kind of feel, with a very light rose gold trimming going around the box, and Jessica Simpson's Signature is written on the front there. We're going to move on to the bottle design. Now again, since this is a new fragrance, it came in a brand new style of bottle. So this time around we have a sort of glass teardrop shaped bottle with golden feathers wrapping around the very top, forming the lid. I actually think this is a very beautiful bottle design. I really like it. I love how it sort of evokes movement with the wrapping of the feathers kind of creating the top. The feathers of course made an appearance on the box in pink, and then now the rose gold has sort of taken over. The feather kind of drapes right along the top of the bottle, and Jessica Simpson is written in gold writing on the front of the bottle. So the lid comes off like that, and we still have a little bit of the feather remaining on the bottle there. Just remember that when you're putting your lid on, actually I'm going to get a little bit closer for this because this is like a pet peeve of mine. Okay, so there's a specific patterning of the feathers here that are on the bottle and on the base of the lid. Too many people will put the lid on like this, interrupting the natural flow of the feathers. What you must do is keep turning until the feathers line up perfectly like that. Now you have put the lid on properly. Okay, back to business. So now I'm going to tell you what the fragrance smells like. So it has been classified as a gourmand, like a lot of Jessica fragrances are. So I'm going to read you what Jessica has to say about this scent. So she said, "There is something about this fragrance that takes me to another place. It is exciting, sophisticated, and much more mature." Now of course she's comparing it to her other fragrances, probably the Fancy, her original fragrance Fancy. So I have a few concerns about that statement. I don't find this one to be much more mature. I find this one to be more sort of playful, flirty, casual, kind of along the same lines as the original Fancy. It has that sweet floral gourmand smell to it. So in the top note of this fragrance we have a lot of juicy, sweet kind of fruit elements. We have some clementine, some apricot, some pomegranate, and some juicy citruses. So I forgot about the nectarine. There's also nectarine. Yeah. Overall, it kind of combines to make this peachy, even though there's no peach. I mean, we have the apricot, we have the nectarine, we have citruses. It's like a citrusy peach kind of juice that I would describe it as. So very sweet, very fruity, and you know, if I didn't know about any of the fruits in it, and you sort of asked me, you know, what do you smell the most in terms of the fruits, I would say I smell a big old peach. So I just sort of refreshed myself here, and yeah, very peachy. One thing I can say is that sometimes when you have like an apricot or a peach or like a nectar in a fragrance, it can come across as a little bit heavy and sort of syrupy. What's good about this one is that those citruses, those juicy citruses and the clementine really help to sort of pull back that apricot, nectarine, peach aroma, so it doesn't come across as too heavy. It actually comes across as a little bit lemony, like a fresh, peachy sangria kind of smell. So it's a really nice opening. So in the heart of the fragrance, we have a lot of the, well, all of the florals actually, and we have some pretty strong florals here. We have the orange blossom, the tiger lily, and the night blooming jasmine. Now before you ask, it doesn't really come across as a strong floral scent. I would say this is more of a fruity gourmand, even though it's classified as a floral gourmand. It's more fruity sweet than it is floral. It's really hard to pick out any of this particular flowers. They're kind of there just to sort of blend off the top a little bit, make things a little bit more smoother, and but they don't really add a very particularly floral kind of scent to the fragrance. So we are still kind of living in that peach territory, that sweeter peach citrusy fragrance, where it's still remaining fresh and light on our skin. And then in the base of the fragrance, we have all of our sweet gourmand notes. We have our vanilla, our white chocolate, our tonka bean, our sandalwood, and our driftwood. Now, if you watched my Marc Jacobs video that I put out a couple weeks ago, I was talking about Daisy Love, Oh So Sweet, and it had, the Daisy Love, the first one, and it had that driftwood element to it. Now, I guess I kind of forgot that this fragrance had driftwood, so it kind of started that trend a couple years ago. But let's not even talk about it much, because this isn't a woody fragrance at all. Sandalwood also is kind of absent, despite it being there. It's really that white chocolate, I think, that really is the stronger, sweeter note. Not so much the tonka bean. It's like a lighter, airier kind of sweetness. So I'd say the white chocolate is the main element, and a little bit of the vanilla too, of course. All the while, that peach from the top, the citrus, well, okay, it's not a real peach, but the apricot and the nectarine from the top, mixing with those citruses, make this scent kind of come together as a sweet, almost creamsicle. Like, you know how the creamsicle has that orangey, creamy kind of feel? That's kind of what this is, because the clementine and the citruses are strong throughout the whole fragrance, and they're mixing with that vanilla and the white chocolate very quickly once you spray it, so you're getting that nice creamsicle, lightly sweet, strongly fruity kind of scent on your skin. So in the end, it's not the most original kind of fragrance. We've sort of smelled that citrusy, creamy scent before. The bad thing about it is that the lasting power is pretty poor, to be honest. It doesn't last very long on the skin, just a couple of hours. It was kind of surprising because it has a lot of those stronger sweet notes in the base, so you would have thought that it would have lasted longer, but it is rather short-lived. I think that's its biggest downfall. But ultimately, it is a very fun, casual, fruity gourmand, perfect for daytime in spring weather. Alright, so let's move on to the second fragrance. So this fragrance is called 10. Now, the name 10, some people were thinking it's called 10 because it's the 10th fragrance in her collection, but this is actually incorrect. This is the 8th official fragrance in her collection. The reason it's called 10 is because it's celebrating 10 years of being in the fragrance industry. So back in 2004, she released a dessert cosmetics line. It was sort of like, they were fragrances, but they were like edible or something. I don't know, it was kind of weird. It wasn't until 2008 that we got her first like real official fragrance, which was Fancy, but 2004 was her like technical start. So it's 10 years of Jessica fragrances. That's the sort of story about the name. Now, I have the box. I haven't put it on display because it is so ugly. It is one of the saddest looking fragrance boxes I've ever seen. I have it sort of hidden away. I'm going to show it to you. I mean, it's not going to give you nightmares, but like, I just found it so drab and boring. Like, it's this ugly little brown box. It reminds me of, you know, if you get like a fragrance tester, like I used to like sell fragrances, and whenever I would get like a tester from a rep, it would come in like an ugly brown box, and it would just say like the name of the fragrance written in there, like no pictures or anything. That's what I thought this one was, because it was just like blah. Anyways, we have Jessica Simpson 10, written on the front. It is brown. It has gold trimming and a white feather kind of splotched on the front there. I mean, it's not that bad. Okay, we'll put it, where should we put it? Right there? We'll put it like over here. And bottle design, you know, again, beautiful. We have the teardrop glass-shaped bottle with the feathers draping along the top, forming the lid. This time around, Jessica Simpson is written in white. The liquid is more pale than the sort of rose gold of the original. And the cap, of course, is white. Also, the original had that sort of glossy, shiny finish, whereas this one is like a solid, dry look, I guess. My feathers have not been matched. They have not been aligned. I apologize for that injustice. Let me just fix that. Alright, so now we're going to talk about what the fragrance smells like. So I'm going to start by saying it's quite similar to the original fragrance. I do find that this one was a little bit unnecessary. Like, not that I didn't want her to celebrate 10 years, but I just felt like a fragrance with that sort of milestone, like celebrating such a big accomplishment, it should have been a bigger fragrance. It should have been its own special thing. This one seems very rushed. Like, the box was a disaster, and the bottle is okay, but it's not quite as nice as the original. And the scent is sort of like a copy and paste version of Signature, a little bit more of a watered down Signature. A lot of the notes are very similar. The base of the fragrance is identical. So we have the white chocolate, we have the vanilla, we have the tonka bean, the sandalwood, and the driftwood. So there's no difference there. The heart is also very similar with the addition of one floral. So we still have our orange blossom, our night blooming jasmine, the tiger lily. The addition is the frangipani, but again, I don't consider this one very floral, and with those other three stronger white florals kind of being there, that addition doesn't really come across as being very present in the moment. So I felt like that was a little bit unnecessary. And the top, we still have the clementine, the citruses, but we did add some star fruit, which doesn't have much of a scent to begin with, and some plum. So when I read about it, I thought, okay, plum is a strong, you know, powerful kind of fruit. It's going to really change the aroma and make it much fruitier. I really like plum being in fragrances, but unfortunately it doesn't come across as plum. It ends up smelling lighter somehow. I don't know how the addition of plum makes the fragrance smell lighter, but it seems almost like a summer edition. Like, I can consider this Signature Summer. It's just a little bit lighter, a little bit airier, more citruses, and a little bit lighter on the sweetness as well. Having said that, the lasting power is even less impressive than the original one. If that one lasted like 3 hours, this one will last like maybe 2. So that's their biggest downfall. They're cute, light, fruity gourmands that come and go pretty quickly. So in conclusion, the two newest Jessica Simpson fragrances are casual, fruity, gourmand fragrances for the daytime. They are similar to each other, this one being sort of the lighter version of the original. In terms of comparing them to the rest of the Jessica line, they were a little bit of a letdown, I'm not going to lie. Fancy, you know, the original one was that strong caramel, red berry, floral gourmand. Signature seems like a almost lesser version of it. If you ever thought that Fancy was a bit too strong, a bit too lingering, which, you know, it can be, this is a good alternative. It still has that Signature Jessica sweetness, but in a lighter sort of reinterpretation. And if you want something even lighter than that, you can go with 10, as it is sort of like the summer version of Signature. So my final thoughts are nice bottle design, cute fragrances, but they don't do anything new for the Jessica line. They didn't push it forward. They're not as sophisticated or mature as I think Jessica sort of wanted them to be. But they do fit in nicely with the line in terms of being that sort of lightly sweet, daytime casual kind of celebrity fragrance. Okay guys, so that's the end of my review of Signature and 10 by Jessica Simpson. I hope you enjoyed that. I do miss the fancy line. I wish she would like go back to that. Or at least make a third one for this line, something sort of different. But it's been a few years since we got a fragrance from her, so I'm just kind of crossing my fingers. If you enjoyed my video today, I do have a lot of other fragrance reviews on my channel that you can feel free to watch, subscribe if you are interested, like the video if you liked it. And in the comments below, you can let me know if you prefer the original fancy or the sort of newer Signature. And tell me your thoughts on the box. Was I too harsh, or is this just the reality of the box? Alright guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time for some more fragrance reviews.